Let's discuss that with Lauren Fox. She's our CNN congressional reporter, and Joseph Moreno. He's a former Justice Department and National Security prosecutor. Thank you both for joining me today. Joe, I want to start with you. Rudy Giuliani there speaking to the cameras as he went into the New Year's Eve gala at Mar-a-Lago. He's saying he would testify. Joe, you're a former prosecutor. Is that a good or a bad idea?
Alex, this is a terrible idea. First off, he said testify. So to your point, it sounds like Rudy wants to be a witness for the president. But then he also said, I would prosecute the case. I think he meant defend it. So I don't know if he means that he wants to be a witness or he wants to be part of the defense team. That being said, I don't know if Mayor Giuliani has tried a case in something like 40 years. And based on his performance in interviews, even friendly interviews, he seems to lack the sort of train of thought and strategic mind to get through even a short series of questions, much less a trial. So I think the president should not let him anywhere near this trial.
Lauren, you know better than anybody that Republicans on Capitol Hill, the president's supporters, really don't want to be hearing from Rudy Giuliani. Is there any indication that the president, McConnell, anybody else would like Giuliani to have a role in this trial?
Well, I think Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has been very clear, Alex, about the fact that he doesn't necessarily want to hear from any witnesses, right? The case that McConnell has been making to his Republican rank and file members has been, let's see where we are on witnesses first. Let us hear from the House managers. Let them make their case. Let the White House defense make their case. Then we'll have a decision about witnesses. And I can guarantee you, based off what I've heard from Republican lawmakers, that Rudy Giuliani is not someone that they think is able to defend the president. If anything, they think that, at times he actually undercuts Republican messaging, especially when it came to that phone call between President Trump and President Zelensky, Alex.
The person who is going to have possibly the most central role in this upcoming trial is Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John Roberts. Now, we should remind our viewers he was appointed by President George W. Bush, who of course is a Republican. But this sounds like he's not playing into politics, these latest comments that we've just heard from him. And these are comments that the president may not like. Justice Roberts writing, we should reflect on our duty to judge without fear or favor, deciding each matter with humility, integrity, and dispatch. Joe, what is the justice there trying to get at, and who is he directing that message at?
Well, Alex, I think he's trying to measure expectations here and send the message out that, look, he, Chief Justice Roberts, is not just interested in individual cases, but he's interested in the institutions of our government, whether it's the judiciary, the legislative, and the executive branch. So I think he's cautioning us to say, look, we're losing faith in our institutions, and it's vital that we be seen as fair arbiters of the truth. So while he may not have a heavy hand in this trial, because it really comes down to what Mitch McConnell and the Republican majority want the trial to look like, he is warning us, and perhaps warning the president, he does expect it will be conducted fairly. And perhaps he's saying he may even inject himself as necessary to make sure it's a fair trial.
And to that point, we don't even know what the trial is going to look like. We don't know when it's going to start. Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, hasn't even sent the articles of impeachment to the Senate. We have heard from Republican Senator Roy Blunt. He told a Missouri radio station that he thinks the trial will be over soon. Take a listen.
I think it will still happen quickly. The president's been invited by the Speaker to come and give the State of the Union speech on February the 4th. My guess is we'll be done with this by the time the president comes, but he's going to be up there February 4th talking about what he wants to talk about, which I assume should be the economy.
Lauren, what are you hearing in terms of what Speaker Pelosi is thinking in terms of timing?
Well, Roy Blunt basically saying there his best guess is that this would be over by February 4th. The reality is that sources I'm talking to tell me that they really don't know how this all will come together. The expectation is that next week lawmakers will get back to Washington. They'll have an opportunity to sit down and have some discussions. Then they expect that Nancy Pelosi would send over those articles of impeachment. But there's really no for sure when it comes to Nancy Pelosi's thinking right now, Alex. And I will tell you that there is some concern among the president and some of his allies that she could be withholding these for some time. You've basically seen comments from President Trump that he wants this trial to get underway so that he can defend himself. Nancy Pelosi knows that the president is anxious to get started here. So whether she withholds those articles for a few more days or weeks still remains to be seen, Alex.
Many different interests at play here. Lauren Fox, Joseph Moreno, thank you very much.
Thanks, Alex.